Comrade Show with Comrade Lante Oriake. This is the Comrade Show.
Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to our many fans and viewers of the Comrade Show. Today is 2nd of October 2022. I want to say on behalf of the team a very happy Independence Day to all Nigerians and Nigeria indeed. 62 years is worth celebrating. Although as a country, we are far from where we are supposed to be. But because we are alive and there is hope, there is need for us to celebrate. I want to welcome all of you very well to today's program, which promises to be a very unique one. Your darling program, the Comrade and Friends, a segment of the Comrade Show. I'm not alone today to do justice to today's program and the topic indeed. I have the obedient in the house. And how can I forget? I am your friend, your brother, your comrade, no other, but obedient pharmacist Augustine Iremiran. And I have in the house today the two wonderful musketeers, CNC as well. So I want to introduce them so that they can say hello to our people and we set the ball rolling. Let me have the singular honor to welcome obedient Dr. Tony Agbonse. Dr. Tony Agbons, greet our people.
Thank you very much, obedient pharmacist Iremiran. You are looking really take away this Independence Day extension that we are on. Viewers of the Comrade Show worldwide, I say a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching us in the world. It's good to be back on this table and it's good to be sharing this awesome moment with you all. Promises to be an exciting program today, and I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much, obedient Dr. Tony Agbons. Your appearance today reminds me of a former governor of the old Bende State, no other but Professor Ambrose Folonshaw Ali. You are welcome. I have no doubt that today's input and your deputization will absolutely be outstanding as always. For our viewers, at some point today, we'll be going to open the lines so that you can make your contributions. The topic for today's discussion is very apt. We are still on the road to Nigeria election 2023, and we are zeroing in on the Independence Day rally and the Independence Day rally for Peter Obi and the days after. That is indeed very huge. Let me at this point welcome the CNC, the senior obedient minister, and the ever-conscious and candid comrade. No other but my brother and friend, comrade, obedient comrade Lanti Pausaragi, the eye of the obedient movement in the whole wide world. Please greet our people.
Thank you very much, obedient comrade from Augustine Iremiran. Yes, Nigerians, greetings to you all. My name is Comrade Lantik Mamusa Oriaki, and I'm glad to welcome you all. Please, if you are joining us, you know the drill. Just share, because the show must go on. Until we get to the promised land, we cannot stop this journey. Thank you so much. Over to you, obedient pharmacist Iremiran.
Thank you so much, obedient Comrade Lantik Mamusa and I forgot GCO of that territory. Thank you so much for finding time to join us today, because I know yesterday you were on air twice in 24 hours trying to catch up with everything that was going on and also to educate and inform our TV viewers. I say thank you so much for what you do. Like I said in the intro, we are still on the road to 2023. Yesterday, October 1st was massive in Nigeria and there were rallies here and there. In fact, if your city, your town was not mentioned yesterday for a rally, it means that maybe you are not in any of the geographical location in Nigeria. So today, we'll be looking at what that meant for Peter Obi and the aftermath, days after, as we sojourn into 2023 election in February, and indeed the swearing ceremony in May 29, 2023. But just before that, like I hinted last week, one of our strong musketeers, the brain box of the Comrade Show, we gave a little info last week that he was he was going to be celebrating his birthday on Monday, the 27th of September. Lo and behold, that day came. Our brother, Dr. Tony Agbont, was standing Gidigba and celebrating very, very well. Do you know, our viewers, that Dr. Tony Agbont is a twin? So it was double whammy for the family. Our twins is, and the twin is a male. Very rare, a dynamic man and a dynamic woman. And the name of our twin sister is Tonia. So it is worth celebrating. And you know, Dr. Tony Agbont was celebrating a very epic and unique year in his life. Strong milestone. Comrade was what do you have to say to this and this sitting right in front of us?
What can we say that to keep up the celebrations? We've been on this since on Tuesday. In fact, as a matter of fact, before Tuesday, last week we mentioned it, and of course, you know, we've been on it. What we can say on air is to say that we are happy. Obedient Dr. Tony Agbont is not a mistake. That is part of this generation. I think God carefully designed, you know, that he should be part of this generation, particularly knowing the historical antecedent of Nigeria. God knew that, you know, such a jolly good fellow, a polyglot, you know, of no mean repute, should be around this time to help, you know, Nigeria sail out of, you know, troubled waters. So, but beyond political contributions, Dr. Tony Agbont is an amazing personality. To be honest, you know, like we have said, you know, privately, that we are happy, you know, the kind of comradeship that is growing, you know, between us, and of course, the honesty to our relationship, the selflessness, not just to ourselves, but to the general public. And of course, Dr. Tony Agbont being a champion of all of these virtues, honestly, is one that we cannot completely describe with any adjective. I think I'm very proud to be associated with a man designed like this by God, who does it at this time. And coincidentally, we're all living together. I tell you, bro, what I can only say is to thank God, you know, not just for having come this far, you know, together, but for the date we collectively have with destiny that is to come. Dr. Tony Agbont, God bless you, bro. Just keep being who you are. Happy birthday to you, and of course to your twin sister. Long life, prosperity, and, you know, greater things to talk about and to do in the future. You are me, my brother. Yes, bro.
Thank you so much, for those wonderful. Thank you so much for those wonderful words. It was indeed Tuesday, 20 September, that Tony Agbont, along with our twin sisters, celebrated their birthday. It's a red gel, a proper being man, baked in a Dokolo Grammar School, it's a live university of and sent to the entire world waiting for further studies across the globe. One thing I find is very disciplined and time conscious, and men like that are rare these days to find. I say happy birthday, congratulations to you, many happy returns. May God bless you, guide you, be with you, bless you,
Amen.
And I hope good health.
Amen.
So, Dr. Tony, I know you are feeling on it now, but just take your moment to say a thing or two to our wonderful viewers so that we can start the show proper.
Yeah, thank you very much, obedient pharmacist Remira and obedient comrade Bonsa Oriahi, and to all the members of the board of trustees of the Comrade Show for all your felicitation, your warm words, and prayers to me and my beloved twin sister on our birthday on Tuesday. You know, we can't thank you guys enough. And I also want to use this medium to thank my lovely wife, my son as well, and members of my family, friends, you know, my classmate from Edopolo Grammar School, my classmate from University of Benin, and all other of my friends and associates for the love that you all shared to me, and in fact the messages are still pouring in, and you guys just put the icing on the cake just now. Thank you so much. And even followers of the Comrade Show, I saw the page was buzzing. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, even up to yesterday, people are still sending me warm greetings. You know, to feel love that way, it's really challenging. It's really challenging. And for me, what I say in all this is I need to still do more, because, like the Bible says, it said, "To whom much is given, much is expected." So I think you guys are pushing me more to keep keeping the standard. Thank you all so much. I'm really happy.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tony Agbons. We wish and pray for many happy returns in good health and sweet longevity. So we leave it there. Celebration will continue. Let us go straight to the cocoa of the matter. Yesterday in Nigeria was October 1st, and indeed our Independence Day celebration. Nigeria was 62. We are now marching on to 63. Many people will ask different questions where we are in terms of governance, in terms of general life in Nigeria, in terms of education, in terms of health. And many people would also argue that the dream of Nigeria is yet to materialize. But indeed, there is hope, and that hope is coming in 2023 in the person of Peter Obi. According to Ochobrole, the Obi movement are a bunch of 4 people just seated in their room playing with computers. But as at last week, there was news all over that 1st of October was going to be a very great day in terms of rallies and movement for the Labour Party and the Obi Dati movement. But you agree with me that when yesterday came, that point was proven very well. Across Nigeria, there were rallies here and there. If we have all our rallies on cue, can we begin to show our viewers before we begin to take discussions on what happened yesterday?
This is first time.
Yeah. That's Kaduna, the old state of the vice president in waiting. This is London, our city. London was agog. Beneath the cradle of black civilization, Edo State was locked down. Gombe, the north is not left out. They are part and parcel of the Obi Dati movement. Surulere again. That is Surulere for you. Lagos really was there for the Obi Dati movement. This was 10 victory signals to BAT.
That actually was Uyo.
The last one that was
Uyo. I think coming from our sister Iremiran, honestly, we have not stopped talking about this, and I'm sure we're not going to stop. I think the political history of Nigeria, to be very honest, has recorded, something never before seen in Nigeria. Yesterday was supposed to be Nigeria's independence. Ordinarily, Nigerians will celebrate and be in the mood of independence. But yesterday, symbolically, Nigeria, instead of Nigerians talking about independence, Nigerians were looking at the future of Nigeria. And of course, Nigeria came out en masse to embody, their support for a different future. So I would say that part of what yesterday represented was to say a capital no to the last 62 years of Nigeria's political development, particularly, in the areas of, economy and in the areas of politics and all of that. And right now, Nigerians are very expressive, very strongly so, that the fortunes of this country must change. The story of this nation beyond 2023 has to be different. And the recognition of the fact that we cannot continue to do the same things the same old ways and expect a different result is one that the people want to deviate from. To say, if we have to change, we have to change the entire dynamics. And that has to equally do with the kind of people that should steer the affairs of this country. And so yesterday it was a day of judgment and a day of decision. Judgment to say, look, the last 62 years has predominantly been nothing to write home about. The next 62 years should be a different story beginning from 2023. And so that is what we saw yesterday. So we didn't actually see a celebration of independence, but a celebration of the future of Nigeria that should begin from 2023, and that should begin with the election of Peter Gregory, because Nigerians were very distinct in not just expressing their desire for a change, but expressing their desire, through whom that change will come. And they were very emphatic in saying that it must be Yusuf Obi Dati, presidency. And so, honestly, we can't stop talking about this. This is a reference point for not just yesterday, for today, and of course, for the days to come, probably even beyond 2023. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I think.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Comrade Lante Bonsaraki.
Go ahead, Mrs. Remira.
Yeah, thank you so much, Comrade. I think the network is not very good from my end at the moment. But thank you so much, Comrade Lante Bonsaraki, obedient Comrade Lante Bonsaraki, for that deposition. You called it on something very important. That yesterday, even though it was our independence, was a for the future of Nigeria. And in your view, another 62 years started only yesterday. And there's a clear element to that. The kind of rallies. Dr. Tony Thomas, I'm not very problematic yesterday. You have to run another show just to keep our people abreast. I said a lot already to us. Dr. Tony, we want across Nigeria.
Yeah, I think, thank you very much, obedient Comrade Iremira. What happened in Nigeria yesterday and in some parts of the world is something that has never happened before. If you look at the history of Nigeria, when any day we are celebrating our Independence Day on 1st of October, even though in the last maybe 15 years, going to stadium and all that has not really been the thing like we used to do when we were growing up in our secondary school and university days. But yesterday, like obedient Comrade Oriaki said, Nigerians came out, to make a statement. And the obedient movement came out, to send a strong message to the current satanic ruling class in Nigeria that it is not going to be business as usual. In fact, the obedient movement, came out yesterday to say Nigerians are tired of being tired. The obedient movement came out yesterday across the length and breadth of Nigeria to say that a new Nigeria is possible. And Obi Dati is the ticket, is the driver to take us to a new Nigeria. A Nigeria where there will be happiness for majority of the people and not a few. A Nigeria where there will be water for everybody to drink and not just wine for a few men and women to enjoy. A Nigeria where the quality of life will be as it is in other parts of the world. A Nigeria where the theory of Japa will no longer be heard of. A Nigeria where leaders are accountable to the people. I'll stop there for now. Obedient pharmacist Iramira.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tony Agbons. I love the way you dissected it and you put two things in comparison. The one that struck me most is the issue of in Nigeria where there will be no Japa. You would have to travel because you want to travel, not out of frustration. Yesterday was a clear manifestation. Comrade Obedient, Comrade Latte Bawosa Oraki. I want to ask you this very important question. In a situation where it is said that the Obidati movement have got no money and they don't share shishi, what's your take on that? Do you think those crowds were bought by the shishiless people? Because we know that many of these surrogates of the different candidates from different parties will be coming up with different things. But the crowd I saw yesterday, Labour Party must be stupendously rich to buy those crowds. Speak to that.
Look, when I was in Spain, there's this response that Spanish people, they are very quick, to respond in this manner. Con su boca habla lo que quiere. With your mouth, you can say whatever you like. You are the landlord of your mouth. So, but what you say from your mouth does not compulsorily reflect what the reality is, and of course, what the reality knows. I think we are beginning to see characters exposed because of this Obidati, movement. We are beginning to see, the true nature of Nigerian politicians. Particularly, some of these politicians with PDP and APC and all of that. They appear to be far from reality, and they appear to be very comfortable living in denial. Oshomole had once come out to say that just some 3-4 people in a room, and they use a computer to manufacture crowds. Somebody like Dino Melai had once come out to say that it's easy to bring crowd because just 1,500 naira can mobilize people and all of that. The other man, unfortunately, who's equally exposing himself now, to my amazement, because of what he represented previously, the spokesperson to what's his name, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, one who was a very strong critic of Bola Ahmed Tinubu before, but today is telling Nigerians that in the days of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, people don't even need to go to primary school. Without going to primary school, you can have a certificate and study and from home, and all of that. Trying to, at the end of the day, Ekeyamo, yes, thank you very much. At the end of the day, this is just a group of people living in denial, or afraid of the reality of the moment. But what Nigerians must understand, and what Nigerians already know, and probably what some of these elements should understand, is that this crowd that we are seeing from across different parts of Nigeria, yesterday I told somebody, I said, probably Peter B may not have even spent a dime out of his pocket. These crowds that we can see, they are very organic. They are organic. Nobody induced anybody with anything. The only thing that has induced these Nigerians are different stories. The story of our war killings, that today there is been nobody brought a book for that matter, has induced a number of people to be here. The story of Boko Haram going to our own villages in those states, alleged terrorists, Fulani herdsmen, killing men and women and making our farmers, fathers and mothers afraid to go to their farms, has induced a number of these persons. The story of rice, just barely 7 years ago, a bag of rice being 8,000 naira Barely so. And today, a bag of rice is now 41 to 42,000 naira. That is what has bribed these Nigerians to come out. The story of Nigerians living in abject poverty today, with President Muhammadu Buhari giving our money to develop Niger Republic, with President Muhammadu Buhari using our money to secure people in Afghanistan, with President Muhammadu Buhari taking our infrastructure from Nigeria, roads, and every other thing, and taking them to Niger Republic, while we live in abject poverty. That story and the frustration with stories like that is what has brought these Nigerians to come out. Particularly when someone like Bola Ahmed Tinubu would say to the world that he will continue from where Buhari stops. We already know where Buhari is. Anybody who's telling Nigerians that he's going to continue from where Buhari stops must be energetic, must leave everything he's doing to ensure that that person who promises to continue from where Buhari stops must not become president of Nigeria. There are so many stories. The story of Nigerians having all it takes to develop Nigeria, and yet they don't have energy, they don't have power. The story of the Nigerian government using subsidy to defraud Nigerians, that the issue of subsidy has become, a matter of organized crime, where only people in government benefit from, frustrating Nigerians. The same story that will lead to a vessel coming to Nigeria to take away over 3 million liters of crude oil, almost unnoticed to the general public. That story has frustrated Nigerians and bribed Nigerians to come out and resist this. All of this put together, and many more we cannot mention, because every day there are things happening in this country that is convincing one person to convince another person to convince another person to say we are no longer in the era of bless somebody with 1,000 naira, bless somebody with 2,000 naira, or promote a bag of rice or a cup of salt or this. No, not anymore. Nigerians want change, because we know that the history that we have been through, where they bring their wrapper, bring a cup of salt, a sachet of a gari and rice and all of that, we now understand that all of those things, when we are said then, we are further mortgaging our collective destiny as a people. And so we want to deviate from that to say, we don't want that anymore. Go away with your bag of rice, go away with your curry, go away with whatever you want to induce us with. The only thing that is inducing us right now is the hardship that we are facing, which we want to ensure that we change. And midway into this process, Nigerians now understand, for the first time in the history of this country, that the people that truly have the power, apart from God, are the people of Nigeria. And that is where I say that when the ordinary Nigerians resolve to come together, my brother, extraordinary things will begin to happen. And when these extraordinary things begin to happen, people who have always benefited from the collective patrimony of the Nigerian people, they will see these extraordinary things and they will continue to live in denial, saying all sort of nonsense. But for us as Nigerian people, our eyes are very much on the ball. We have seen the promised land. We are resolved to enter the promised land with Peter Gregory Obi and be part of the process, to deliver this country from the current state of economic and political quagmire to a new Nigeria that should be born. God bless you, my brother.
Obedient, correlated Mawosariaki. Vintage, obedient, correlated Mawosariaki. You couldn't have been more succinct. The Nigeria of our dream is possible in 2023. The shishiness and shishiness sharing Peter Obi is fast becoming the name in the lips of everyone in Nigeria. And I think this realization is coming to fruition in February. And like I said on previous occasion, the Labour Party is pregnant. They are due to go into delivery very soon. And that baby will be matured for Nigerians to harvest in 2023. Dr. Tony Agbons, correlated Bawosariaki has said a lot. the maladministration of this government is indeed the catalyst for the sudden surge and huge support for Peter Obi from Nigerians. But before now, there have always been many arguments to say that Peter Obi is only in the South. But I must tell you, if we begin to put these rallies state by state into different spheres, there have been more rallies in the North than there is in the South, taking away the massive population in Lagos. Don't you think the stories that Peter Obi is not in the North is a force, and that the Northerners are even more obedient, some people will argue, than the South? Please speak to that.
Thank you very much, obedient Comrade Remira, for your anchorage so far. And I must thank obedient Comrade Oriahi for his deposition just now. Before I answer your question, I just want to say this, that, you know, there is an aha moment for any people. If you look at countries that are really doing well today, Indonesia, Malaysia, China, even the British, our neighbors, Ghana, Rwanda, and all that, it gets to a time where the people will just say, enough is enough. And then we decide to change it. We decide to re-engineer our society. You know, looking at the rally that happened in Abuja, a cosmopolitan town, last week, we were talking about Abuja last week. And then there have been some other rallies in Jos Plateau State, in Oka, in Anambra State, in Gombe, in Zaria, in Kaduna, even though they tried to stop that, in Abakaleke, in Ebonyi, in Benin, in Saple, a lot of places. We can just name it. There have been, even in Sokoto, there have been rallies. So there is a wind of change blowing across Nigeria, because like obedient Comrade Oriahi read out just now, the failure of this current government is a marketing tool for the obedient movement, and not just a marketing tool. It is it's a product that we all see on the shelf. Sometimes I was talking to a friend 2 days ago who is a staunch party man of the All Progressive Congress, APC, and I told him, I said, look, I said, when Nigerians trooped out in their thousands and millions to support Muhammadu Buhari, Major General at that time, Muhammadu Buhari retired, I said, Nigerians desire change. I said, but we have not seen the change. I said, so, and Nigerians, both from the north, the south, the east, and the west, supported Buhari that time, especially in 2014, 2015. And they promised 3 things. And let's not talk too much. They said they will fix the economy, they will deal with the security challenges we are having, and the third one, trying to remember that one, but there were 3, if you can help me, there were 3 major things that this government, yeah, they said they will fight corruption. Yeah, they will fight corruption. And when you look at those 3 things, let's forget about the other sub areas. Is it security? Are Nigerians safer now in 2014, 2015 than we are now in 2022? People cannot travel on the road. Everybody is running to the airport to go and take an aeroplane. Kidnapping, banditry, terrorism, and the government just look helpless. There is no direction, there is no vision, there is no roadmap, there is no plan. And then there is no, the government seems so detached. And we are hearing somebody saying they will continue. The APC are saying that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, if he wins, is going to continue from where the President Muhammadu Buhari stopped. Just imagine that. What an effrontery. What impunity. What impudence. What do they take Nigerians for? Do they think that we are in 1850 and Nigerians cannot reason? We have that kind of insomnia. we have amnesia. I mean to say that we have memory loss, and this is the same government for since 7 months now. I think this will make it 8 months. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, have been on strike in federal universities in Nigeria. Nothing has been done. The government cannot resolve it. For God's sake, what is the purpose of government? Government is a social contract. Government is holding the trust for the people. These people, they came to ask for our vote. When I look at politicians, I'm like, do these people even know why they are there? You are the one coming to say, vote for me, I will do this, I will do that, I will do this. And then they get in, they don't do anything. And all they do is to travel around the world, enjoy the perks of office, drive big SUVs, have large convoys, and people are hailing them, Your Excellency, Her Excellency, Excellency, my foot. So when you look at all this, my brother, fellow comrades, this election is very simple. So barring some mago or wuru from somewhere, I already see inaugural speech. Peter will be delivering inaugural speech at the Eagle Square on the 29th of May 2023. My instinct doesn't fail me. It has never failed me.
So shall it be, as postulated today by obedient Dr. Tony Agbons. And the house will say a big amen to that.
Amen.
Viewers of the Comrade Show, it's been the Comrade Show, the Comrade and friends. And we are talking and looking at the road to 2023. Looking at the implications of the rally the days after, yesterday being 1st of October. The lines are open. If you want to say a thing or two, you know what to do. Pick up the phone. You have 90 seconds. Tell us your name and let us hear your comments, because that will help to deepen democracy and also to educate our many viewers. Obedient Comrade Bonsa, I want to put you in a very difficult situation now, because we know that fake news and the way many of these surrogates of our candidates deceive the public is so different. I believe for the last 24 hours, hopefully tomorrow, they'll be planning on what their reactions will be and what they want to tell the masses. I know many of their surrogates will be drafted to different media houses tomorrow to begin to speak ill or create a news that is unwarranted from the rallies. You already know what they have to say. I want to put you in their shoe. Do you have an inkling of what they're likely going to say? Let us use the medium to let our viewers know that those are fake news before them. I know they will come to say, no, the rallies were over-bloated. They were not up to that. So put yourself as a surrogate for now. Say what they want to say and condemn them in quick succession. I know that's difficult, but I trust you can do it for us.
Well, my brother, it is hard to predict the temper of a chick still in its egg. That being said, we already know their antics. In the case of Nigeria, they are very predictable. Okay. First, I want to tell you and tell Nigerians that they are not going to start just because of this rally. They've actually started. They've been talking. Unfortunately, the accusations they've been making, they are not sticking. Nigerians are not buying into any of the accusations. As a matter of fact, if you even prove today that Peter Obi is a bad person, and you have proof and evidence to show that Peter Obi is really a bad person, Nigerians are not interested anymore. They are just resolved. So
we have crossed the Rubicon.
Sir?
We have crossed the Rubicon.
Yes. So there is really nothing anybody is going to say that is going to change Nigerians right now. Because Nigerians, believe me, already know where they are going. They don't want distraction anymore. You understand? Now, they have tried to align, Peter Obi with the Biafra movement. Don't forget, they have tried to make Peter Obi a sectional leader, to say he's coming to come as president of the Igbos. The Nigerians did not buy into it. They have tried different antics. Before Obi's popularity, became this, very indelible, so to speak. They have been saying that we have analyzed them. Oh, these are just to try to diffuse the rallies. They say these are 2-3 people in the room using a computer to manufacture these. Obi has no structure. A structureless person cannot win presidency. When the chips are down, that is when we know none of these things, Nigerians give ear to. Now, all of those have failed. And I can tell you that what you probably have in their midst right now is confusion. And that is why APC at this moment cannot flag off their campaign. Because right now, they are the ones right now in trouble. PDP are in a very big disarray in themselves. They are unable to yoke together. So at the end of the day, why we make reference to these issues, with our own human knowledge, we can look around our ears and probably see the hand of God in all of the matter. So at the end of the day, Nigerians are not really bothered anymore, with what anybody's going to throw at the obedient movement. I have been reading comments of people trying to, make this thing like, oh, even in those states, people who are benefiting from the PDP, whatever arrangement, some of them as SSAs or whatever, I see some of the things they are writing, and I just laugh, knowing that they're just responding to their paymaster. Somebody came out to say, oh, the rally they saw in Benin, it was no more than 500 people, and I laughed. You understand what I'm saying now? When Benin was in total lockdown, as a matter of fact, the election that brought Governor Baseki into power, the rally that came out to support Peter yesterday was the people who came out were probably 5 times more than the people who elected Governor Baseki in 2020. So I think that to tell you, how massive this project is. And we have gone beyond that stage where the tantrums by a few persons who have always benefited, from our collective patrimony, in a very corrupt manner, we no longer bother the obedience. And so we don't even bother about it. We don't want to crack our head about what we want to say, because Nigerians are obedient family worldwide, and even the new converts, they are impervious to those tantrums, because they are moving ahead, looking at the ball, not willing to take the eyes off the ball. So nothing is going to matter anymore, my brother. Over to you, Mrs. Remiran.
Thank you so much, Comandante. Can you hear me? Because the network seems a bit fluctuating.
I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Thank you so much for that deposition. I decided to ask that question because I know what they will do the morning after and the days after. They will try to bring fake news just to cause confusion. And because this program is a global program, we know that many people that listen to it, some of them are in diaspora. We want them to be harmed, so that when this information comes from Nigeria, they will be able to give the right information to their wards. Because the goal is that we should keep our eyes on the ball. Dr. Tony Agbos, apart from being very cerebral, you are an academic, and I think you have a very good knowledge of IT system. I'm going to ask you this question. It may seem very simple, but you never know. Things can happen. Can 4 people be in the room and manifest 1 million? That's a very important question for you. And while you try to answer that, what do you think the Obu movement need to do to sustain this going forward? Because 5 months is huge.
Thank you, obedient Comrade Remira. 4 people be in a room. Are they up to 4? I thought I was saying 2 people in Lagos and 2 people in Zaria yesterday. Maybe my glasses is getting weak. Obedient Comrade Remira, how many people did you see in all those rallies yesterday? I'm asking you before I answer you.
Millions of people, millions.
Maybe you come and borrow me your glasses. I need to change mine. I probably even borrow your eyes. Look, jokes aside, the Nigerian political establishment, their sense of entitlement is so huge that they think that what used to happen when we started elections in 1999 is what will happen again. You know, they don't know that this is our 7th general election. So we are getting wiser. The level of political awareness is getting higher. Nigerians are shining their eyes. And in the words of the cerebral lady Aisha Yusuf, our MU don't do. I don't want to insult anybody this afternoon. Our MU don't do. For God's sake. Is good life only for a few people to enjoy? It's not. So for somebody to say that it was just 4 people when this whole arrangement started, we even laughed on this platform. We laughed and said, these people, they don't know what is coming. They don't know what is going to hit them. They don't know at all. If the result of this election, I'm predicting, the result, some polls came out and they another poll, one other poll like that. And then when the Bloomberg own came, if you notice, the noise went down because they know that Bloomberg is not an organization to be toyed with because they are based in the US. So, like Obedient Comrade Oriaki said just now, Nigerians already know what they want to do. Look, I was making some phone calls over the weekend. People even wish as if this election was next week Saturday. They would teach this our regular politicians a huge lesson. This is not about APC, PDP, or whatever. Not even about the Labour Party. This is about a competent character. Somebody who care and love the people to lead. And who can bring a type of accountable leadership that will trickle down. I hear a lot of people say that one person cannot do it all. Why are we just saying if Obi becomes president, Nigeria will become a paradise? Nobody is saying that. What we are saying is that Nigeria needs to start from somewhere because we have not started at all as a nation. And like you said, some of us are professionals. We've worked in several places and we know how things are done. A society works with system. Nigeria lacks system. We've always been working with personalities. Oh, we just get somebody like Obasanjo to be president. He will use his personality. If we get Major General Muhammadu Buhari to be president, he will use his personality. Those have failed us. Now, we want somebody that can develop a system. I know we are going to talk about something much later in this program as part of developing the system that we're talking about. Countries work with system so that even if the president is on leave, the country will just be running. That is what happens in the UK. That's what happened in Botswana. That's what happened in Rwanda. That's what happened in Egypt and other places. System run, countries run with system, but not in Nigeria. So that fellow that said on national TV, because I watched it, is our former governor in Edo State, Comrade Adams Oshomole. He was the one. And this is somebody that is used to rally. When he was Labour president, he was always organizing a rally. It is system and institutions that work. So he was already doing rally. Now, he saw a crowd of people and he was saying there are 4 people. So, and like there's been a lot on social media. I'm sure now he's going to eat his words. He will eat his words and know that what he was saying was wrong. So, we have reached that point now in Nigeria where the average Nigerian, like Obedient Comrade Remina, you always said it. The generation that started this democracy, children that were born in 1998, 1999, all they know is democracy, not like us who knew military government. So those children, most of them are 24 years old, they are 23, they are 22, 21, 18, 19, and they can vote. So these children, they are ready. And they can't see any opportunity. So, and the man is there standing before them, saying it as it is. He's being honest, and they can feel his body, they can see his body language, they can see his transparency, they can see his pedigree, they can see his integrity, and you think they will not follow him? That is why you see the movement of obidati spreading all across Nigeria. And come 2023, Nigerians are going to deal a serious blow to this APC PDP duopoly. They are fed up. PDP have done their own 16 years, and then APC promised heaven and earth, and they have delivered nothing. So Nigerians are ready to kick them out with their PVCs.
Thank you so much, obedient Dr. Tony Agbons. You said hopefully the erstwhile governor of Edo State will eat his words. I just want to disappoint you that in Nigeria they don't have reputation, they don't eat their words. He will only come back to say he was quoted out of context.
You want to take this call?
Let's take the call, please. It's the People's Show.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. What's your name, sir? Where are you calling from?
My name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from the Netherlands.
Go ahead, sir. You have 90 seconds.
All right. Good evening to you all, and happy elated birthday to the doctor in the house.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
My take on the issue is a very straightforward one, and that is I'm coming from the angle of technology. My background is ICT, and I want you all to please try and reach out to the Obidati group. The area of technology must not be underestimated or undermined. The information reaching me is that the APC people are already in discussion with an Israeli company to manipulate the outcome of the election. The Obidati group should not take this information lightly. They should, as a matter of urgency, constitute an ICT committee or commission, as the case may be, and involve Nigerians in the diaspora. We have competent hands in the diaspora to help checkmate these ills. There's no two ways about it. The signs are very, very clear. The APC, the PDP, they are all on the losing side. They are more or less like people drowning, and they will do every and any to not just to go down. So please try to reach out to them. They should take the idea and the aspects of ICT very, very seriously, particularly what we call data security. Very, very important. That is my humble submission. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your call.
Thank you so much, our friend Emmanuel from the Netherlands. I think the point he raised is very important. Comrades and obedient in the house, we need to look into that, and then I think that is cause for serious concern, really. Thank you so much for ringing in. Yeah, Dr. Tony Agbon, I was trying to say that in Nigeria they don't have a reputation. The governor will come out tomorrow to say he was quoted out of context. So anything happens. Viewers, the purpose of this is just to remind us we should not be shaking, we should remain resolute. Different things will be thrown at us. Let's be watchful. Let us police the system so that we can get the best out of it. Mr. Henry is asking a question about PVC, just as if you know. The next issue we want to talk about is really on INEC and PVC. Comrades, fellow obedient, my viewers, you know, we can do a lot, but if the system is compromised, we will be in trouble. And at this moment, this system is in the hands of two people. We, the voters, and indeed the regulators, those in charge of voting. We've said this countless number of times. There is need for everybody that has registered to collect their PVCs. And there is also need for INEC to do the needful. For INEC to stand firm, follow the law, and ensure that things are done properly. I think as we begin to look at these rallies, we cannot take our eyes out of PVCs and INEC. Comrade obedient, Comrade Lante Ponsa rightly. We've talked about this, but it can never be overemphasized. I want to talk to the people again on the need for PVCs and what INEC should and must do.
Well, first, for the people, thank you, bro. For the people, for Nigerians, I think what we need to know is the timetable. You know, INEC has released that timetable. People have already started collecting their PVCs. My own encouragement is that let's not you know, wait for the last minute. And the timetable is very clear. I think I have it somewhere here. When you look at this is the timetable right now. From on the, do you want to take this call first?
Let's take the call. The people show.
Yeah, we take the call, but we leave that visual so that people can, you know.
Okay. All right. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Kenneth Edoksawa. I'm calling from the city of Birmingham, UK.
Go ahead, sir. Speak a bit louder.
Yeah. Thank you, all the comrades in the house and all the obedience in the house. As our brother from Holland have just indicated, because every day I try to follow up the news behind, because as community said just and my honorable brother Lapte, where to sustain this rally is what really important. The INEC is telling us that most of the people that register late may not get their PVC to vote. And these things have begun to give me a sign of concern that if these people that register, which are comprising of the youth, they don't get their PVC, please, I want you guys to tell us what will happen and what is next step if they cannot get their PVC to vote.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, over to you, Remiran. Before I come back.
I think obedient commander, you can continue that first question into the question I was trying to ask you.
Okay, let's quickly look at the you know, information given to us by INEC on collection. For people who registered, you know, from 2021, June 2021 to January 15th, they are to start collecting their PVC from August, which is last month. So they are still collecting. They continue to collect until the end of collection, you know, a day, as it were. There's a second batch, and that had to do with people who registered between January 16th and June 30th. If you know you registered between January 15th and June 30th, your collection, your PVC is ready for collection as from yesterday, which means that from tomorrow, Monday, people can start going, you know, to the relevant, you know, offices, to INEC offices to collect their PVCs. You know, what INEC has told us is that those who registered between January 15th and June 30th, their PVC is ready for collection. Now, the late batch, which the last caller talked about just now, I want to believe, you know, is, you know, comprised of those. Should we take this caller? There's a call coming in.
Yeah, let's take it.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Yes. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good evening. This is Mr. John Bosco calling from Port Harcourt.
Go ahead, John Bosco. Go ahead, sir.
Yes. This is my little contribution to the, you know, to the advancement of our struggle. You see, my little contribution is that, you know, if you want to win a champion, I think it's good to give him a knockout. Yes. How do I mean? What I mean is that if it is possible to bring into advancement or advertisement to obedient family, if they can have that, muster that college to avoid the rallies of things ABC and PDP, so that even when they come to their rally, they see that it is scanty and empty. So it will be crystal clear to the whole world. So whatever shenanigan INEC will be planning, they will be seeing it that even before the whistle is blown, that the winner has already emerged. I think this will help us in the struggle.
Very good. Thank you.
I think that's very wise. Thank you, John Bosco. It's a very good one. We'll take note of that.
Yes. So like I was saying, I want to believe that the previous caller, when he talked about those who registered late, I want to believe that because originally the registration was to end on June 30th, but Nigerians across the world had pressure on INEC. As a matter of fact, court granted that the exercise should continue, and INEC extended it, and so we now had an extended batch of people that registered between July 1st to July 31st. And INEC has said that would be the third batch because they had already made arrangements, up until June 30th. Now, for those who registered in July, INEC is saying that their PVCs will be ready from November 3rd. I mean, from November 1st. So, which means that from the first day of November, those who registered in July can start collecting their PVCs. So, but that all of these would not stop those who are already collecting to still go and collect. If you are registered since last year, your collection will continue. You are registered since January, your collection continues. It's only those who registered on July that will wait to start collecting from November 1st. Hello, what's your name, sir? Where are you calling from? Ma. Go ahead, Mr. Frank, and speak a bit louder. You have 90 seconds.
From where?
Okay,
Frank from New York.
I do hope we know that Tinubu would never want to lose in Lagos, being his supposedly home. And he's going to do everything that he can to make sure most people are disenfranchised, especially on those local government areas in Lagos where he knows he would never win. In the last election, I saw how most people live around Amodofi area were disenfranchised when Tinubu himself was not contesting. Now that he's contesting, he will do everything to ensure that he's not humiliated in Lagos. So I would like the big group to also put mechanism in place that will ensure that their plans don't come to pass because they would to make sure most of our disenfranchised. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. That's very incisive. Over to you, Francis Remiro.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Correlante, for that. But obedient Dr. Tony Agbons, INEC is very pivotal in this process, and the people are very important. Any idea, any information we have is very important. Whatever pressure we can, we continue to mount on the system to make it happen. In my own view, I think INEC is in the right place. I think they've done enough and they continue to take advice from us. But of course, we cannot say for true if they've passed the test until the election come and go and we see that it is free, fair, and credible. If we go back to what came up 2 weeks ago with Ugo Chinyere telling us of the manipulations and all that, we are still waiting for INEC to speak to that. Though they responded, it was not what we expected. But the INEC man has always been going from one TV house to the other, reassuring Nigerians. Dr. Tony Agbons, I want you to look into the eyes of Nigerians and personally appeal to them, if possible, kneel down and beg them of the importance of having their PVC and using it in February.
Thank you very much, obedient Comrade Remira. And I want to thank the last three callers, our brother Emmanuel, John Bosco from Port Harcourt, and this brother that just called in now from the US. Wow. For the valid contribution they have put in. In fact, we are making notes and we'll pass some of these things across. What I want to say is this. INEC, so far, so good. But we cannot say hooray yet. The eyes of the world is on INEC. The eyes of Nigerians is not very much on INEC. INEC cannot afford, to fail the Nigerian people in this monumental election that is coming up in February. And the use of technology is making life very easy. That is why people now enjoy mobile phones, smartphones, enjoy banking, send email, and all that. So for election, we really need to use technology. And I must say this: the obedient movement, every one of us in the obedient movement, we should not take our eyes off the ball. Like John Bosco said just now, to defeat a champion, anyhow you look at it, you need to give them a knockout punch. Because if it gets to judge's decision, anything can happen. So we are going to keep an eye on the entire IT system. And that's why you see in any presidential campaign council, there is an IT department. So we'll monitor this. We're going to monitor it. And I must tell you, what Barrister Ugo Chinyere and his group, what they did some few days ago was a scoop. So it was a scoop. And we call that, it was a kind of investigative scoop. So all our eyes are on what is going on. People working in INEC, they're not be spirit now. They are human beings like you and I. So we'll be keeping an eye on things. And the first test of integrity for INEC is whoever gave away his login details for the beavers, that those fake registration were done, those people must be brought to book. If INEC doesn't do that, then many of us will have no other cause than to begin to have concern, and then we will need to take very drastic measures. INEC must punish those officials that registered those fictitious ghost names as alleged by the coalition of United Political Parties, CUPP in Nigeria. So until INEC does that, then we'll begin to doubt their integrity. So we are waiting for Professor Mahmood Yakubu and his team to tell us what really went on. Because somebody in INEC uses login details. So these things are trackable. We all know how IT work. In our offices where we work, when we log into our system, we can easily be tracked. If anything goes wrong, they investigate. So INEC must get to the root of that issue. Otherwise, then there will be credibility question, and there will be some question mark on the election itself. So INEC must be above board.
Thank you, obedient Dr. Tony Agbon.
Sorry to cut in from Sister coming from Sister Remiran. I'm just caught by the comment of
I want to read that
Collins. Yeah, he said INEC is not saying the truth, that his wife and children went to try to collect their PVCs, and the registrar said that the PVC were not ready, and they registered since last year. Oh, Lori Collins, please, if you could you just call in and make this case, publicly, and just give us clarity of what you are talking about, because these are some of the pockets of issues that we need to take up, not just on air, but directly with INEC. Please, if you could call in, because to say that someone registered since last year and the person's PVC is still not ready, and you are giving information that those who registered since last year can actually, start collecting their PVC, from August, and you are saying it's not ready, then we have a problem. So these are some pockets of issues that we can pick up to establish a very strong case against INEC. We don't mind going all the way. So if you can pick up your phone and call the number, and the number is rolling right now on the screen, that'll be fine. And we'll probably, can follow it up with you. These are issues that we need to get to the, to their roots and make them as public as possible. Because we cannot be giving us one information, and yet what is practically on the ground is a different thing. So no play. Over to you, Pharmacist Remy.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I think my spirit and your spirit, and indeed all our spirit, is in tandem. I was actually going to talk about the Olori Collins comment. And like you said, it makes sense if you can ring us. But Olori Collins, if you are not disposed to ring now, maybe you are at work, get our contact and make contact. Many people like you that are suffering, it's good we have those evidence so we can place them actually before INEC. And I think they also said that in the course of time before the election, the full list of all those that have collected their PVCs will be displayed. So that will be another issue. I believe as this goes on, we'll be getting more development, and clarity on those people that will vote will become a bit clear for all of us. But in addition to what my two beautiful, obedient comrades have said today, I think the people, we are very important in this whole process. We are absolutely very important, and we must help midwife this process so that the fruit of our strong labor will come to full fruition and we can pluck it in 2023, February 2023, by the grace of God. A lot has been done, and Nigerians are now fully awoken to the fact that they need to take their destiny seriously in their hands. As we begin to wrap up on this issue of INEC and PVC collection, Dr. Tony Abbas, I don't know if we have a one-liner advice for our viewers and our people on this very topical issue of INEC and PVCs.
What I want to say is this, and is very brief. Just like what we did, what Nigerians did, the obedient movement, what we did with the permanent voter card registration. Anybody that goes to collect his PVC and they say it's not ready when it is supposed to be ready, I would suggest that do a recording and post it online. It will be gotten. You can even send to us, put it on our page, and we will blow it up, because enough is enough of all this. So how can somebody register since last year? He goes to INEC office, 3 of them, a woman and 2 children. They say it's not ready. This is one of the way they disenfranchise people. It happened during the registration. A lot of people could not even register because they go there and they spend the whole day. They are not registered. So why are we doing all this? So for me, make it public. If you want to send to us, send it to our page. Short video, and then we'll blow this thing up. Thank you very much. Obedient pharmacist Remira.
I want to say thank you, Dr. Tony Abbas. I think that your one-liner is very good. The need to emphasize that things have to be done properly. If you have been a victim, don't keep quiet. Let the world know. And of course, INEC will know and the right thing will be done. Obedient comrade Lante Bosa Oraki, GCO. What will be your final, just one-liner on this INEC PVC collection issue that we've been talking about for the last 20 minutes?
Thank you very much, obedient comrade from Sister Remia. To Nigerians, I just want to appeal because it's something that has affected us, over the years, and that is the assumption that, in logic they call it inductive reasoning. The assumption that it was like that last year, it was like that 2 years ago, it will be like that this year. Let's not embrace that kind of reasoning. We know that INEC has had a history of, of credibility issues, and so many people, have been put away, and many people have some, very stereotypical ideas about INEC, and that INEC is going to fail. I want to appeal to us that irrespective of all of those information we may have about INEC, let's follow the timetable. For those of us who have not collected our PVCs, let us do everything humanly possible to collect our PVCs. Even if you are told that your PVC is not ready, ask them when it's going to be ready. Go on that very day when it's going to be ready. Let's keep going. The sacrifice is worth it. Let's keep doing what we have to do. There are many who have called me to tell me that they have collected their PVCs, and but we don't want to have anybody whose PVC is ready or is supposed to be ready, but has not collected. And we don't want to have people who would assume or who would say, I heard that Mama Augustine never ready, and at the same day we do. So I know we just bother, go collect, go try at all. I beg. You and Mama Augustine will not be the same. Mama Augustine's own may have some issues when we say your own feel just clear. So may you not follow anybody. This matter, na personal decision, na independent decision. No, they don't look Mama Augustine, take do your own. Your own, now your own. So not take anybody information, take make your own judgment how you want to respond to this matter. Everybody who has taken time out to go and make the sacrifice of registering, for your PVCs, you have done 50% of the job. By the time you go and collect your PVC, you would have done 75% of the job. By the time you now come out and vote on election day, your job would have been completed.
Thank you so much, Comrade Lamte Konsaraki, obedient Comrade Lamte Konsaraki, for that. You are trying to re-echo what we said last time again. It's a
can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
We can hear you. Yes.
Technical, glitch just now. So having done, 75% of the job or 50% of the job, please let's ensure that we collect our PVCs. Very important. Everybody's story is uniquely different from each other. So I've seen this with us. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why I would just want to pray that we don't make that mistake of assuming that it was like this or it's like this with this person. It must be like that with me. So it won't be like that with you. And we must equally give INEC the benefit of the doubt in this election. I think so far, for the things that are provable, that we can see, that every Nigerian can attest to, so far, we can score INEC fairly. So far. So let's give them the benefit of the doubt and keep pushing. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Comrade Lamte Konsaraki. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you so much, obedient Comrade Lamte Konsaraki. I asked for a one-liner, you gave me 3. But your words are always so soothing. They are straight to the point, they are educative, and they are all geared towards driving us to that road 2023 where success will be ours. Our people, our friends, our viewers, this is a 3-pronged approach. INEC is important, PVC is important, and voting election is important. Of those 3 stratas, INEC is just one bit. The other 2 concern me and you, the voters. It's not enough to collect your PVC. You must go on that day to make sure you cast your vote and wait and police your vote, because we must not take anything for granted. We have worked so hard. We want to see a better Nigeria. We want to see a Nigeria that works for me and you. We want to see a Nigeria with electricity. We want to see a Nigeria with good leadership. We want to see a Nigeria where people communicate what is happening. We want to know what is happening and want to see development for ourselves, for our future, and the future and the future and generation yet unborn. The responsibility is for me and you. So we cannot overemphasize that. We want to promise you that every Sunday we will constantly remind ourselves of the relevance of INEC and indeed the relevance of PVC and you coming out to vote until we get there in 2023. Like we always say, they listen to us and they get our advice. We've had Pastor Tommy come to our show and we've spoken with him. We've had cause as well to say a thing or 2 to him. Even people, our viewers, have rang in to make different suggestions. And only just this weekend, there was a big announcement from the Big Tent. We know that the Big Tent is part and parcel of the labor movement and the Obi movement. In fact, they are the wings behind the entire labor movement and the Obi movement. And I know somebody once suggested that it makes sense as a way of fighting this battle, knowing that the task ahead is huge, for a form of think tank and a group to be put in place. So that when Obi becomes president, things will be easy. We will not have that long period where we waited for more than 6 months going to 1 year in Muhammadu Buhari's first term as president to even hit the ground rolling. You remember it took a long time for ministerial appointments to be made. So something very important, my dear obedient and comment, happened just last week, and we got the information today, as announced by Professor Pat Utomi, that the Big Tent has been reconstituted. And you know what? We have a strong member of our group in that Big Tent. The Big Tent policy team makers was announced, and Dr. Loretta Oduwari of Boroko was part of that. He's been shortlisted to be a member of that Big Tent think tank. We have Itwa Igodalo, Aishat Yusufu, the ever courageous, no-nonsense Aisha Yusuf, and of course, a very strong lawyer, a human rights activist, a no-nonsense man, a Lagos-based man who has been speaking a lot, Dele Farotimi and others. Comrades, does this gladden your heart that the Big Tent is made up of people of high valor who will deliver and deliver well for Nigeria? Come on, Dr. Tony Agbons. Our own Dr. Loretta Oboroko is part of that team, and I think she is part of the health team of this Big Tent. What do you have to say?
Yeah, thank you very much, obedient Comrade Remira. Just like you, I'm very, very elated that the Big Tent group has been reconstituted, and Professor Patu Tommy released a statement yesterday, in fact, and it was published uh, in some major Nigerian newspapers yesterday. So the news is just featuring, and you already called some very big names. Our own daughter, the elegant Amazon herself, Dr. Loretta Oduwari Boroko. She's there. We have Pastor Itrai Odalo, Aisha Yusuf, Dele Farotomi, Professor Anwa Aliu, Ambassador Joe Keshi, General Henry Ayola, and then to write some very good names there. A lot of people with pedigree. We have advisors to this team because the team has different subgroups, defense, constitution, and so many things. So the advisors, I just want to read some names I have here. Professor Atahiru Jiga, that is a name I think a lot of us know. We have Dr. Obi is a Kwesilesi, yeah, a former Minister of Education. We have Femi Falana, Olutola Mobolurin, and Professor J. Isawa Eliagu. So many names there. And like you said, um, uh, obedient pharmacist Remira, having a think tank like this, even when you know campaign is just starting, is very good. So when you have a team like this, to put policy together, strategy, drive, and the purpose of this team is actually to drive what we call the issue-based campaign, because His Excellency Peter Gregory Gray have said that he has no time to be throwing jibes and expletive at people. So he wants to run himself, and Obi Dati, himself and Dati Baba Akpe want to run an issue-based campaign where they will talk what they will do in defense, what they will do in law and order, what they will do in agriculture, what they will do in external affairs, what they will do in education, what they will do in youth development, what they will do in information and culture, public works, the blue economy, aviation, international trade, humanitarian affairs, mobilization, environment, labor, interior, and so on and so forth. So if you look at the list, it is very tight, and a lot of time and effort have gone into it. Nigerians have been picked from the labor movement, from the activist group, from the political parties. This is a huge think tank, and this huge think tank, apart from the names you are seeing here, there are still other people whose names may not be published, but who are still going to be behind the scene to develop strategy. Without strategy, nothing is achievable. So this, to me, is huge thumbs up, and I must congratulate our, elegant Amazon, Dr. Loretta Oduwari Boroko, for being part of the head team. She is, like we know, a consultant gynecologist and obstetrician. I hope I got that right. Cutting my tongue now. UK based, trained in the University of Benin. I've done a lot of studies here in the UK, and she's been working in the UK. Very experienced, somebody who's very close to home. She knows what the dynamics about Nigeria is, and she's been involved, in the development of our human capital and development of our society. This is a step in the right direction, and I congratulate Dr. Loretta Boroko.
Thank you so much, obedient Dr. Tony Agbos. You once again showed your dexterity in academics. You analyze this whole stuff, because we only got it not quite long, and the way you analyze it seems to me that you were part of the people that wrote it and the policy makers. You are indeed truly not only obedient, you are a right comrade. You don't wear khaki. You know what you are doing. In fact, what I'm so happy about is the constitutional reform group. I can see Barrister Alfred Oloko, Wale Okunuyi, and the fearless Barrister Dele Farotimi. And of course, because I come as well from the health sector, I'm also very passionate about health. And We've already talked about it. Our own daughter, our friend and sister, Dr. Loretta Ogboroko, is part of the health team for this think tank. I'm really buzzing. I'm happy. Comrade Lante also like the obedient DCO, the mover and shaker of the people, the cross bearer of the Edo traditional kingdom, the traditional man, the great Benin man, the Nigerian true and true. Our friend and daughter makes the list. What do you have to say about this?
You know, just earlier today, I was telling a group of people that one of the things I'm very happy about with, Peter Obi is that till this moment he has not made a mistake. You know, mistakes are very common with leaders, but we can look at the trajectory of Obi, particularly looking at his campaign, just now, and the way things have evolved. He has not made a mistake. Everything has been, putting square pegs in square holes and round pegs in round holes. Why do I say that? When this list came out, honestly, I sat down. It was an arrangement that honestly, holistically met my expectations. Why do I say that? What you are seeing is like a shadow cabinet like we have in the UK. Right now, it is not just, this arrangement is not just relevant to Peter Obi's ascendancy as president of Nigeria. It's relevant for the socio-political culture of the Nigerian state. It is relevant for the Nigeria of today and the expected Nigeria of tomorrow. Now, looking at somebody like Professor Patutomi, being involved with this arrangement, let's not forget that Patutomi is a major brain behind a lot that is happening right now. He is one of the unsung heroes of today's story.
One of the engines.
One of the major engines of all of these arrangements. I mean, you and I, there are things that we cannot reveal here that you and I already know, because we are very privileged to have been part of some things or to have heard some things. And honestly, Patutomi is, if you watch, everywhere Obi goes, has been going to, Patutomi has always been there. It's one of those that you see quietly, and all of that. You understand what I'm saying now? What you have right now is a proper readiness for Nigeria to be a better Nigeria for the future. This group right now, this arrangement right now, is an arrangement to put Nigeria in the right place. That's on the part of this whole, grouping. Now, coming to my dear sister, Dr. Loretta Ogboroko, who made this list, not by accident, not by chance. I have always said that the history of Nigeria cannot be beautifully completed if we do not look at certain people that God has blessed to come in this generation. God specially designed this generation for certain human beings to be living in this era. Because God knew that Nigeria being born several years ago, had our independence 62 years ago, God knew that this nation was going to go through turbulent times. And at the end, human beings are going to rise to remove Nigeria from turbulence and put Nigeria on the very right path of history. And to that extent, God brought several people in this generation to challenge the past and be prepared to be an example for the future. Not just be an example, but be part of that future that will benefit a lot of human beings that are yet to be born as Nigerians tomorrow. And Dr. Loretta is one of such beautiful human beings that God preserved for this generation. She's prepared, she's ready, intellectually, socially, psychologically, physically, in every way. And so it is not a fluke that she made this list. There is a natural design by nature that this should be at this time. And behold, my brother, the beauty of it, like Dr. Tony Agbons, Comrade Dr. Tony Agbons said earlier, is that there are a number of people that may not have appeared on this list, but are working behind the scenes. That these people who are there right now, they become people who are like messengers, carrying the opinions of Nigerians all across the world to put on that table. The ideas from which Peter Obi will now begin to say, okay, this one is good for Nigeria, this one is good for Nigeria, this one is good for Nigeria. And don't be surprised that some of these people eventually, very credible Nigerians, impeccable Nigerians, will eventually make the cabinet that Peter Obi is going to set up. Who therefore says that Nigeria does not have a bright future with Peter Gregory Obi? But at the end of the day, this is what this whole thing is about. We have said and argued that from day one, Obi is going to be ready to be president of Nigeria. And I would not be surprised that if Obi is elected on in February of 2023, when he's being sworn in on the 29th, by May 30th, that Obi would announce his cabinet. I would not be surprised because he's prepared. He knows how it works. And that's why I said, what you are seeing is a shadow cabinet for the Nigerian state that will take Nigeria beyond the level that we are right now to launch us into that new Nigeria of our expected dreams. Big congratulations to Loretta. Big congratulations to all of us, because I never see here we are all part of this whole arrangement. So when you see Loretta here as a member of this team, what you are seeing, and of course every other person that made this team, what you are seeing is that you are seeing all obedience across the world on this table of national discourse to reborn Nigeria. That's expected the result. Big congratulations to the names on that table, to Dr. Loretta, and of course to everybody behind the scene. Nigeria is going forward.
Thank you so much, obedient Comrade Pomosa. You are always in the spirit. May God bless your thought process and all that you said. I look at that list and I see a very balanced list. And like you said yourself and Dr. Agbons, it is a complete representation. Round peg in round holes, square peg in square holes. Dr. Tony Agbons, one line on this issue before we wrap up.
Thank you, obedient Comrade Iremira. What I just want to say is just to also let Nigerians know that in the statement released by Professor Patu Tomi, I just want to say this verbatim. He said, "We are pleased to announce that we have also set up a college of spokespersons from every state of the Federation and the 6 geopolitical zones plus Abuja to deepen the communication to the grassroots and to the work of the policy team as they propose alternative to all extant policies." What this means is that in each state of Nigeria, there's going to be a new thing called the College of Spokesperson. And in the 6 geopolitical zones as well, there will be a spokesperson. These people will be liaising with the grassroots so that information can be put together for the betterment of the new Nigeria, which we are all going to see. Thank you.
Thank you so much, obedient Dr. Tony Agbons. And I dare put comrade before or and after your name because you are indeed a comrade. I think you've said it all. Like it's always said in the business world, if you don't innovate, you perish. I can see lots of innovations coming up, and this think tank and indeed the OB movement and the Labour Party, there are so many innovations they are bringing, which shows how ready they are and prepared they are once they assume the reins of government in May 2029. I think overall it's a very good news. All those names, I've looked at them, like I said, is very balanced, cut across the entire country, and the people there are really people of substance. And I believe with those people behind.
And they are all young people.
And they are young people as well. In fact, some of the older ones are there more like an advisor. And I think it's really, the list is, we have to give it to Labour Party. I will pray that they continue to remain consistent, that they continue to organize it in a way. Because Nigeria needs, once this government come in, we need a pure takeoff. We must take off to set our country in the right place. Our viewers, friends of the Comrade Show, it's been your darling program, the Comrade and Friends. Today's topic, today's discussion has really been very apt. And we've looked again at October 1st, what it means for Nigeria. Independence. Were we really independent? No. That 1st of October was the day of rally to send a signal to the entire world, to Nigerian government, to Nigerian people, that Nigeria is ready for change. I want to thank everybody that came out on the 1st of October to support that rally. I want to thank all obedient people who provide money, time, everything just to see that change come. We seriously appreciate you. If I know Obi will not be able to get to everybody, but whatever you are doing is for Obi and for Nigeria, because a better Nigeria is what we want. And indeed, a better Nigeria is possible come February 2023. Please do not relent. INEC, to be forehand, to be warned is to be forehand. You carry a huge tax, but that tax you must complete, and I know you will. Please complete it. Make sure everybody gets their PVC. To our people, on the day of election is not the day to play football. You've gone through the rigors of getting your PVC, you must use it. And use, you must. I want to at this point thank all our callers who took time to call us today. One thing I find very important today, their suggestions were so top-notch and on point. Emmanuel from the Netherlands, thank you very much for ringing, and thank you for the advice you gave us. I want to promise that we shall make judicious use of that for better Nigeria. Kenneth Edosowan, you rang us all the way from Birmingham, United Kingdom. Thank you so much for your input. Thank you for your suggestion. We are indeed very grateful. Wow, somebody rang us from Nigeria. John Bosco, all the way from Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Thank you for ringing in. You advised that you don't want any form of victory. You want a technical knockout. And that knockout will be given to the Sesame Twins of PDP and APC come February 2023. You told us to keep an eye on the ball and do it very efficiently. Frank, all the way from New York, your contribution was very apt. Thank you for ringing in. And for our many viewers who have been making contributions on our social media handle, Facebook, Twitter, everything that you've said, we say thank you very much. I just want to end by telling us about the PVC collection. If Comrade Latik also I can put it there again. PVC collection, first batch started in August. If you fall in that category, please do well to get yours. Second batch is already on the way, October, and the third batch will be November in a few weeks' time. Collection of PVC is paramount. Using your PVC is very important. I want to say have a very, very happy week. Stay out of trouble. Continue to remain obedient. Eyes on the ball.
Comrade Show, wait. Comrade Lamte Oriake. This is the Comrade Show.